Welcome to Dwarven Forge Live. This is On the Anvil, episode 171. This is the show where we take you behind the scenes here at Dwarven Forge. We show you what we're working on. We show you some of the challenges we're facing. We show you a glimpse of the future. This is the show where we want to hear from you. We want to hear your feedback. We want to hear your ideas. We want to hear your best puns. This is the show where we always stay on topic. Nothing ever goes as unplanned. And we never have any technical problems, but mostly this is the show where we spend the next 2 hours talking terrain, enjoying a frosty beverage, and hanging out with you wonderful members of our community. Welcome, 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 welcome. Let's rock and roll. Woo! I'm feeling good tonight.
I can tell. Yeah, so tonight we're going to be looking some more at Perilous Frontiers. We got kind of a fun project to share with everybody today. So it's gonna be a very interesting conversation. Maybe we'll save the topic until we're done with this. And then we're gonna be giving away a $50 Dwarven Forge gift card about an hour into the stream.
What do we have to do to get that?
Just wait.
Just wait.
But
it's so
we're gonna do just a giveaway word.
Yeah.
Everybody is eligible that does not work for us.
I don't think anybody's watching. Well, no, I have to get back to people watching that work for us, but yeah, you know who you are.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, that's basically it. Should we just get into it?
If you're new, hop in. Don't be afraid to hop in the comments. We do want to hear from you. We love interacting with you. Obviously, you're welcome to lurk, but there's no reason not to hop in. Let us know what you're thinking. Just be nice, right? We have a wonderful, wonderful community. Let's keep it that way. Let's keep it fun and polite. And have fun.
Frosty beverage this week. We're back to our standard Angry Orchards.
Do you know, I was staring and I was like, what was it, the Dirty Mayor?
The Dirty Mayor, yeah.
The Dirty Mayor was staring back at me. I'm like, I don't know. And then I was like, just looking at your face, and I was like, I
don't put that on me. You didn't like it either.
I actually enjoyed it.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, because it made me feel alive. Every time I swallowed it, it was like I had to battle for survival. It was like...
That's not a good thing.
It keeps me like, keeps the youth line. I like ginger.
You're just trying to spin it.
So I guess we should get some more for next week is what I'm hearing.
All right. Yeah, why don't we get into the news?
It's the news! Hey, Chris.
Well, what's up?
What's in the news?
Quite a lot. Actually.
Woo! Really? It's only been a week.
Merc is right. There are no more Dirty Mayors.
That's right.
Yeah.
As of last night. Boom. We're taking New York back.
Yeah, let's see. We man, what's the best thing to start with? Okay, let's go ahead and go with the 21st of November. A lot of stuff is happening there. And that's the first day of PAX Unplugged, which is the next convention we're going to, the last convention of the year. So we're going to be there. At the same time that's happening, we are launching our holiday market.
Because that's not ambitious, right? Like,
no, we're just going to prep everything. We're just going to prep everything ahead of time. And that's going to be fine.
Love it.
Along with that holiday market launch, we're also going to be having a reserve release.
It's a triple whammy. That's what I'm hearing. A triple whammy. The 21st is a triple whammy.
That actually, I just realized, makes it really difficult for people who are actually going to PAX Unplugged. If they want to
rethink this.
If they want to do the reserve release. Yeah, I don't know why that was picked. So maybe we should actually...
Because there's probably going to be some people that really want a bunch of the stuff that's in there. And
probably at least somebody, yeah. Why do we launch it when we're away at a con? Because we want it to be up for the con. And we also, speaking of the holiday market, reserve release, maybe we should do something different. Maybe we do that. Maybe we do that the week after. The week after is
breaking news. Breaking news. Reserve release is moving.
Well, we don't know. We have to get approval.
Field people on the street saying it's moving.
We have to get approval for moving it, so we don't know for sure. We'll have to bring that up. But the holiday market is going to be going live on the 21st because we want it to be live for the convention, so we can push people towards it, and we also want it to be up by Thanksgiving. So that's the time that we would usually launch it anyways. The fact that Unplugged is happening early this year is just kind of what happened.
Pretty early.
Yeah. So, that's happening.
Woo. And do you want to holiday market? You want to detail
Yes.
that? Lower.
Holiday market. The big thing is we're not doing what we did last year, where we had a ton of people involved. We want to do something that was a bit easier logistically this time. However, we are going to have 4 new starter bundles.
It's a lot of bundles.
One of them is a collection of all of the, what am I thinking? All of the special effects compatible pieces in Wildlands specifically. So it's the Oblivion Nexus, the Spore Claw, the Whole Knoll, all that stuff kind of wrapped up, so that if you have gotten into Wildlands since the campaign and you want to work the Light Puck or the Fogger into it, or you just want the set pieces and you haven't gotten around to those yet, it kind of collects them all in one place. And then gives you like a gift card for it. So I think it's a good way to kind of round out the more standard core bundles that are happening.
Also, just
around
to
there.
let people know all this stuff that works together. Like there's disparate packs that are, there isn't necessarily a connected up.
Yeah, I think it's hard to figure out how all that stuff works if you're just coming in from it, or if you're just coming in from the outside. So I think getting a pack together that is explicitly named that way and has stuff in the description explaining what the pieces do helps. And outside of that, it's going to be 3 bundles that are all going to be themed around different kinds of games. The Swamp bundle is going to have the LED Basilisk and the Barge in it, and it's going to come with a little module for running a boss fight where you're hunting the Basilisk from a boat with a couple islands around.
I mean, who doesn't want to do that?
So I think that should be.
Who doesn't want to do that? That's like Jaws.
I will see how well
Jaws can petrify you.
It's a very cool kind of everything in one bundle. To just run a session, I guess, outside of the player minis.
Plus, also good, like, they're just good tools to add to your toolbox. Right?
Yes.
That boat you're going to end up using all over the place. So Banks pieces, you can never go wrong. Like, that texture mat is super useful. The Basilisk is going to show up. Like, the Basilisk's mother will come back for revenge.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's,
I guess it's fighting a lot of Basilisks. So, yeah, well, that mini costs $70, so gotta get use out of it.
Gotta use it.
Yeah.
Gotta use it. Hey, that's still, like, a third the cost of...
an actual
Warhammer.
Yeah, that's fair. And it's pre-painted.
Forge $210.
And it's pre-painted and it's LED. It's a very cool
you don't
mini.
have to build it.
So we got that. We've got a Starforged bundle that's also mixed with the ice stalagmites to make a kind of polar outpost skirmish bundle. Fits a 2x2 really nicely. Very good for games like Stargrave or 5 Parsecs from Home. And we're talking about trying to prep a little Stargrave scenario for it. And then we've got a Forest skirmish bundle that comes in under $400 and a little over 200 unpainted. And that fills out a 3x3 skirmish table pretty nicely. And it's themed around kind of the more fey forest plants and trees.
It's a nice collection.
Yeah, it's a pretty fun collection. It's got the Titan's Tooth in there. And that one is pretty specifically designed to work with Moonstone really well. You can use it for a lot of things. But we're talking to the folks at Moonstone, and we're kind of working with them on that. We played a game on it earlier today. It worked really well. Their terrain rules actually work very well with our stuff, which is nice. Their elevation rules work in increments of 2 inches, which is like exactly what Wildlands does. So it's very easy to know when you're building out the battlefield, like kind of how it's going to affect things. Yeah. So
good.
All that stuff is going to be coming on the 21st. Yeah. So let's see, we got the...
And we'll find out. We don't know what's in the reserve release yet. Eric hasn't been out to the warehouse to kind of dig through the stuff yet. So it'll evolve. The date perhaps as well.
Yeah. We kind of got to see like what is left to sell down. Because like the goal with that is to get out all the stuff that we're trying to retire.
There might be some dungeon stuff in there that's getting replaced by new sets in Dungeons Reforged.
Yeah.
Like,
it's probably going to be a lot of that because we replaced almost everything in Dungeons Reforged. Got reconfigured. Yeah, probably some city stuff too, honestly. Yeah. Let's see, what do we got next? The Cities Reforged Pledge Manager closes in just over a week at this point.
Who didn't finish yet and why? There's
well,
like
everybody
200 people left. Yeah.
Everybody waits the last minute. It closes on the 13th. It closes next Thursday.
Ooh, so it's 8 days.
Yeah, so you got 8 days to get that thing in. We've got a pretty good finish rate already, but make sure you get that in because we can't get your stuff to you unless you fill that out, get your shipping info in there and all that. But yeah, so that's still up. And then the other campaign we got, Dungeons Reforged. If you've missed it, almost everything is on the water.
Woo!
We've got a little bit of overage that still needs to get sent over. Trying to get that stuff on a boat. But the 2 containers that are coming over are more than enough to start shipping once they get here.
But did we tell people we've spilled into a 4th container?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently they weren't able to actually get everything into that 3rd container.
So we have a
So, I don't know.
little shorty following after
Yeah.
at some point.
However, yeah, like so much of it is coming in the first 2 that we're going to be able to start fulfillment. We'll see how soon we can start. They should be arriving by the end of November at port, but then they need to get through customs and get put on a truck and taken over to the warehouse. So it's like, is the warehouse going to have time to inventory it by the holidays? Because if they don't, then they're not really going to start shipping it until after the holidays.
Also, Eric has to go through and inspect everything. Like it's yeah. It's I would bet a Valorian Platinum piece that we're not shipping till January.
Yeah. But we'll see. We'll keep you updated as it comes along. The important thing is it is all on the way over, and it is looking like the tariff situation is resolving, which is nice. So we're not worried about that very much anymore. The other thing, if you're getting a surprise shipment from us, that is probably the Lowtown replacements. Those have been going out. So if you get a sudden shipping notice coming from our warehouse or just us in general,
I think they're mostly
probably us.
Don't have notices, but I don't know. Because I think the stuff Eric's been sending doesn't have a notice.
Feels like every couple days we get somebody who's been alerted. Maybe all the international stuff had notices. I don't know.
Yeah. But the international stuff should. I think it's all out now, right? Was that the?
I think I think they finished. I think they finished getting the international out, and they're finishing domestic still. I don't know. Either way, the Lowtown replacements are going out. They're having to do it all by hand. So, as far as I know, we don't know what didn't make it in the containers at this point. We're still trying to get manifest.
The largest pledges are in the 3rd container.
The
largest bundles.
The all-in bundles.
Yeah, because they had everything, and there was a couple of stragglers. I believe so. They got the stragglers on, but then they had to get those stragglers into those sub boxes for those bigger ones, and then into those thing or something. I think I don't know, but it's probably once again we can only receive it and inventory it so fast anyway. So having them staggered by a couple of weeks helps get through them. It's kind of the same as if they all showed up.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what we're looking at with all that. I think that's everything.
Cities Reforged is cooking along swimmingly. We're making lots of little improvements to pieces. Some older pieces like we're just exploring. So there's little adjustments to some older pieces that didn't quite fit right, and just cleaning up all the stuff's there. Like it's going full steam ahead. Also, we got I can't wait to show. We have. Remember a couple of weeks ago we showed the little sign decals. We have updated sign decals. So we got a test from CMS. We got to see. We have to have them check out the die cut and whatever. But once we have that, we can't wait to show. Because Katie went back and sort of did hand drawing on a bunch of those. So they're really nice. You guys are gonna be excited. It's a good thing. I'm really glad we're able to add it. Although it does remain the problem now that people are that sign is going to become and the decal sheet's going to become a chase piece. We'll figure out how to get you.
Aren't we gonna make it a PDF? Make it download?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's easier if you get it die cut.
It's easier to
go,
just
but it is an option.
Okay.
Yeah. What else?
I think that's.
Oh, if you're registered at ups.com, you get a shipment notice. That would make sense.
Right. If you just have your address signed up to get.
That totally tracks this. Because I know we're not sending on this end for all that stuff that's getting manually mailed there. That's awesome.
Right, because we're doing a lot through Pirate Ship. We're doing some unusual methods just to try and do it as effectively as possible. I think that's everything I had for the news, I believe.
Ship at Pirate Ship. Totally. You can totally trust the Pirate Ship.
Yeah, Pirate Ship sounds sketchy. It is actually just a very good service for when you need to do unusual shipping. Yeah. We've used it in the past. Yes, a lot of smaller Kickstarter companies do pirate ship.
I love it.
Yeah. I
Any
guess
other
that's
news? What else?
I think that's all the news I had.
Did we miss any news out there?
Does anybody have any questions about news that we're forgetting that you need you need an update on? Checking question marks. Is there container shrinkage? No idea.
Will-o-wisps.
Can I bundle wildlands with my home and auto? We have not expanded in that way yet. We are working on it.
Real pirates.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I don't know. I can't think of anything. There hasn't been that much.
If nobody has any other questions, let's get into their main.
There hasn't been that much to talk about.
Mm-mm.
We're hoping to get because the tariff stuff's looking good. We're hoping to get a restock order through this week.
Would be amazing.
Gotta get an update this week or next week, I guess. But yeah, we're picking that restock order back up because the tariff stuff looks like it's gonna fizzle out.
Go baby, go.
So yeah,
let's get it in before things change again.
Yeah. Oh. Here's the thing: what really matters is where the tariffs are at a month and a half from now. Yeah.
Well, we don't want to jump into the building when it's on fire, but we're also hoping it doesn't
catch on fire
while we're in there making the stuff. Like,
yeah.
It's really Anybody else tired of all this there?
Confirming the fourth container is legit, like not a bit.
Swallow.
It is legit. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we still need because the thing is, like, they don't. I think it was they thought they could get everything into there, and then they were trying to pack it in, and they realized that they had a couple they couldn't get in, so
yeah,
they were they
didn't want to miss the window or whatever. So
so they just sent what they could. But we haven't gotten the manifest yet. That's like exactly what's there.
A lot. Like, I think it's hard to know exactly how much is going to fit into a container until you start shoving it all into a container.
The likelihood is that the fourth container isn't going to actually be like necessary.
I believe, according to Jay, it's mostly overstock. Like, it's stuff for the web store, and whatnot, which is great because then it's we don't need that. We need to get everything shipped out first.
Well, because the nice thing too is all the big pledges were just made up of component sets. So it's not like it's not like we have like, oh, all the Wyverstone peaks are behind or something.
Yeah.
Like it's all components.
It's all components.
So
it's all ball bearings.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. You ready?
Yeah. Main topic.
I should just reverse. I should just play the news slam in reverse.
Backwards. Snoo.
Yeah.
Swen. So when we looked at stuff last week, so one of the reasons we love the show is we get feedback, right? And one of the big topics that came out. So last week we were looking at first look at the big dunes for Perilous Frontiers, and one of the big pieces of feedback that came back was like, well, what the heck? How are we going to build in line with those? Where are our trifectas to build those dunes in line? Not to mention where are the trifectas for the escarpments, but it's a whole other thing. So I thought it'd be fun to do a trifecta episode. So we're going to start with the history of the trifecta ledges, and then we're going to go into modern day, and we will look at or the future really. We're going to look at these pieces and try and mock up some trifectas for them and see what it looks like. Just go through the process. I don't know exactly what's going to happen or how it's going to go, but I thought it would be a fun episode.
Yeah.
So buckle up, and you have to take a shot if I cut myself with any of the implements. Okay. All right. So
he does have it's not visible. Is it visible if I go to here? No. Oh man.
What are you gonna cut?
I want to show them just here. I'll show it on the camera.
Oh, this thing. My tool caddy. If you need a place to keep your tools, throw them in the spirit tree. All right, so let's start with, we're going back in time to Caverns Deep. When was Caverns Deep? That was like
20
years ago.
16, 17. No. I'm thinking like that. No, it would have been 2018, I think, because Hellscape was 2019.
Okay, so 2018. So that's 8 years ago, right?
I got to
what year is it? 2025, 7, whatever. So about 7 years ago or so. So we're working on Caverns Deep, and one of the so for anybody to know, Caverns Deep was our second foray into caverns. So sort of Dwarven Forge 1.5 had done um, dungeon tiles and caverns, so KS1 and KS2. And then we started going into a real team. Myself, Eli, Michelle, Aaron, Toby, all joined sometime between KS2, KS3, KS4. And that was Dwarven Forge 2.0 when there was actually like a real team. And then that ramped up to like Dwarven Forge 3.0 when everybody was going full time, and now we're at like Dwarven Forge 4.0 where we have like an actual like it's an army. I don't know. It's like we got 20 people that are like all specialized. It's amazing. So anyway, so Caverns Deep was our first time going back into caverns with the full team, and it was a chance to kind of fix like what was missing, kind of fix how do we reapproach caverns and make it better than ever, and adding in anchor magnets and whatever new shapes and whatever. So and it was no surprise, it was a very big sprawling. It was our biggest project to date, and included the Dread Hollow Forest, which you often find in a cavern, right? That's
I think it's still probably the most nonsensical thing that was done.
We had caverns. We had ice caverns. We had undernoon caverns. We had we had a whole bunch of miniatures. We had crazy dressing, and we had a whole forest set. Like on top, yeah, it was.
When are you gonna finish the module?
Well, I mean, it's done. It just needs some formatting, which is like
it's really not.
She doesn't know.
It's really not even that much to do. I mean, it's a lot to do,
so
but it's
a bunch
funny.
of Janet's time for
it's funny compared to how much has been done already. Yeah.
So one of the things we did going into Caverns Deep was look at the old resin, right? What was great about the original resin sets, and what were some of the neat things that they did and whatever. And one of the things that I was always kind of fascinated with so I brought some resin in from home. Check this out. So these, of course, are the infamous like resin cavern. These are the river ones, not the lake ones, but these are the things everybody gets excited about, right? Because there's a two-part resin pour. So you have the lifted resin. You say like these are they're gorgeous. Look at that water. It's so cool. So, oh yes, and the resins have had big pieces and transition pieces. Dave Moffat, you know why? One of the reasons there were a lot of like cool transitions and wacky big pieces, or whatever, is because the molds cost nothing, right? It was, everything was just with silicone molds. It was like a whole easy whatever.
You could make a mold to just print like 300 of those, and that's it, and you're fine. You made your money.
Just make the thing and go, and it costs you nothing to make the it costs you $10 to make the mold, and you go and it's off the run. And it let us do a lot of really fun stuff. So one of the really neat things about the river set was there were freestanding walls which you could use to build caverns, whatever. But you could line these freestanding walls up. If I can do it here. Boom, boom. Right, they lined up really nicely on these things by design. And I don't know who, I don't know where this design came from. It's, Stefan loves to take credit for everything that happened at Dwarven Forge for like the first 20-something years. But the reality is, right, I know at least 9 sculptors that worked on stuff, at least 2 other designers. Like I don't know where it all came from. But this was a very, very cool feature. So including like you had the little let's see if I can get it right, the little door wall. This guy would sit in there, right? Boop. So you could kick the door open as you take your boat down. There. They didn't stay up so well though. That was one of the problems with them. But this was a neat idea. And then you could put these on your cavern floors or whatever. So this was the thing we were kind of chasing in the design of Caverns Deep. We had all these really cool, intricate, convexes and concaves and elevations or whatever. But it was like, how are we going to do, like, how do you do a boat going through like a submerged tunnel and caverns that open up like cavernous lakes and stuff? How do you do that? And freestanding walls seemed to be the answer, because at that point we were we'd gone pretty heavily into negative space in Dungeon of Doom, which is the previous campaign. We had those dungeon ledges, those cool crumbling dungeon ledges, which are double-sided, and our first terrain trays were out there, and they were very popular. Anchor magnets had just become a thing. Like, we were definitely in the negative space camp, because also this wasn't like a double pour resin thing, wasn't something that we could do with Dwarvenite, right, at the time. I don't know what now, maybe, who knows what, But anyway, that was the time it was not something it wasn't feasible. We couldn't do this. But negative space was something we could do really well, and was something that was cool because you could swap it out, right? You go necrotic sludge or ice or water, use the same pieces, and you can have a whole bunch of different effects. So negative space was the plan, and it started with a series of freestanding walls, right? Which was, I don't remember the exact design. I might have the foam somewhere. Fun fact was, originally I was cooking up a system where all the walls were on the outside, so it was full squares for the interiors. So you have a little more room in your caverns to maneuver minis around. You had a lot more. I mean, nothing's true when you're with organics. With organic shapes, like, it's not dungeons where everything's clean and square. Like, your squares get intruded upon. But fundamentally, you were starting with full, like, it was like passage style, where the walls were on the outside, and the rest of the team thought it was too much of a radical departure. So it died, but it kind of paved the way for what ended up being the Trifectas, because I was trying to do like walls that would attach to the outside of floors, and that would make a thing. So we had this cool series of freestanding walls that you could use to build anything from a cavern full of water to a narrow tunnel to, you could put them on a mat and just build your dungeon that way or whatever. And I don't remember exactly how in the process it came up, but at some point someone was like, maybe it was probably an Eli thing, like, hey, what if the banks could like nestle up against them or whatever as a way to do it? Is there something else we could do with these? And I don't remember the convoluted path where we got there, but it turned into the idea of, or maybe it was looking at I had these floors where the walls would come off, but it was like, hey, if we took those, like, we could actually make those into a thing that if they fit together or separate apart, you could build 3 ways. This is where the name Trifecta came from, like 3 ways. So ultimately we ended up making these ledges that nestled into the walls, so that you could use it just like your regular any of your regular terrain pieces, or you could use a freestanding wall to do anything you wanted, or you could use the freestanding ledge you wanted, and you could flip it both ways. It was the first time we had, I think, in Dwarvenite, the first time we did double-sided. No, we done it with the dungeon ledges. I take it back. And this was definitely an Eli thing, right? His big concern was stability. Like, these resin walls were not super stable, so it's like, how do we get these stable? And stuff's going to need to flare out in the bottom, which means the ledges are going to they're going to have like a weird undercut, so they're going to maybe look funny. But if we go this way, then you can swell it out, and if we do the same thing we did with the dungeon pieces, then you have it's more organic, right? We're trying to have things be as organic as possible, because sometimes, it's particularly with caverns, right? If you have to repeat the same piece twice, it starts looking repetitive. So this gave you options to, like, you get double use out of each piece, plus you get double use or triple use, right? Because you can use them against each other separate. Yeah. So that was sort of the birth of the Trifecta system.
When they're upside down, they kind of do the chasm like effect, where it looks more like it's broken out than a bank.
One's like cantilevered over, and one's sort of sloping down, and it kind of gives you a nice different effect. And it just gives you options with style options, right, as you're building, because they both work, and they line up with the cave cliffs, right? This was a whole it became a whole family, right? So the cave cliffs line up perfectly with these, so you can build up. It was like, it's a neat system, and I wish You know, at some point, Caverns Reforged, we'll go back in there and finish out. There's some stuff missing from the system. It was such an ambitious project, we couldn't get everything in there because, geez, we shoved an entire forest in the back end of this thing. It was like, yeah, who
You
was doing
could've-
Pre-Heresy? It was like, it was bonkers. It was like, people thought like Dungeon of Doom was crazy because it had the Burrows and the Forsaken Temple and whatever. And I'm like, hold my beer, check this out. We got an entire forest.
If you cut Dreadhalla, you could have had the other swell wall.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, the Trifecta swell wall is what killed the vanilla swell wall, right? Because we were so tight on pieces, and it was like I was taking a hard look at what we had. I'm like, well, you can do that swell wall with this, so sorry, swell wall. It's sculpted, sitting there on the shelf, waiting for Caverns Reforged to come back in. So this was the beginning of Trifectas, and they were I think they were pretty popular. I think people are still buying them. I don't know if we demonstrate well enough on the website like all the reasons to use them and how to use them and why they're awesome.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue with Trifecta is they're not immediately understandable to a new person coming in.
You don't know how useful they are until you play with them, and you're like, oh wow, those things are amazing. Yeah.
We also didn't have them in stock for the longest time, but I think we have them all back now.
They really are that little toolbox that ends up being, it kind of is the glue that keeps a lot of the builds together. And this was a fun one. Like I wanted to be able to, because the other thing you could do was you wanted to do like the bottomless chasm and whatever, like have the passage open and just drop down, like in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, right, where they get to the tunnel and it just drops off into a chasm, but there's a secret invisible bridge, wherever. You want that feeling though, where you can have it just drop off to whatever. So they really open up a lot of fun abilities. So, and this was the other fun thing that this did is because it takes an insert wall that you put an LED or a magnetic or a plain wall or a mushroom wall, like it let you kind of decorate this up also, so you could essentially have an LED trifecta wall, a magnetic trifecta wall, plain one, you could put the secret door in here. It's like, it just lets you kind of get everything in there, as well as being an alternate swell, right? It's a right swell versus the left swell, or whatever the opposite of this one is. All right, so that was so this was the first of the trifectas. So then, any questions on there? Anything I missed? All right. Oh, and this is one of my favorite. This piece was another one that we were going to make as a regular one and ended up dying because we had the trifecta one. So this is a convex curve, which I feel like people, when they take it out, they always think it wants to be a concave. And the neat thing, I think Nina actually sculpted this. I don't remember exactly why. We had this cut out here so it would fit. You could flip it around and use it as a concave passage, even though it was like a convex this way. I don't know. This one's got sneakily has a lot of neat uses. Yeah, they really. I don't know. I use this thing all the time to do a lot of cheating. Like because they're also free form, you can kind of cheat, like especially with the swell, you can cheat some of the angles a little bit and build. I don't know. They're really neat, and they got the magnets. They stick. Yeah. Very, very love this collection. Can't wait to revisit it one day. So and it worked out well, right? We figured out we could do it. So this paved the way for. So remember how I said there was some. We had some. Oh, what was I say? In addition to like 100 caverns pieces or whatever absurdity it was, probably more. We also had the Dreadhalla Forest and our first escarpment collection. Boom, boom, boom. Maybe we can do it all. It sounds strange. So the first escarpments came out, as well as the forest floors, the modular trees, the cave mouth, the spirit tree, the apex primordial. Jeez, we had mushroom circles. It was a good run of stuff. And these escarpments, this was our first round of outdoor escarpments. It was our first round of outdoor terrain. And so it was both a neat combination of forest floors and escarpments. And we learned a lot through this, right? One, remember the original paint scheme that was unreplicatable? We ended up having some pretty bad batches because the paint scheme was like 50 steps. We had to simplify it down so we could control the results because some of the stuff was all over the board. Some of it was glorious, and sometimes you'd get like just macaroni leaves, and it was rough. And a couple of the learnings with the escarpments, besides the fact that they were awesome, and we wish we had more shapes and more pieces. One learning was don't bake the tree stump into the only straight that you have, because you're going to use this thing a lot, and it gets really repetitive. I mean, I originally designed like 8 pieces, and we cut it down to 3 and kept it anyway. There was a plain one, and there was the fancy one. We did the fancy one instead of the plain one, but learn that one.
There is no short straight, is there? Or is there
no,
short straight?
This was the first set was just these 3 pieces. It was what is the minute? Because once again, we already had we were so far over and beyond, and like it was. Yeah.
Well, you have one other straight. You have the cave mouth entrance, and
that's true.
Also has a tree stump on it.
A giant tree stump and a cave.
And a cave.
And and there's a 6-inch floor baked in, and it's like it was So the other downside with these pieces was because they had the floor baked in, they didn't work well with negative space. Like you had to, if you wanted to put this up against water or do the river through the raging ravine, or the pond by with the waterfall in the back of the pond. We didn't have waterfall at the time, but that thing. You had to use banks, or that's actually all we had, right? We did have the forest. We had forest floors, we had forest banks, we had escarpments, we had the trees. It was a full on. It could have been its own campaign.
There weren't a lot of scatter building options, and the thing is, making the whole thing sculpted forest floors is spendy.
Yeah.
But
I tell you, people bought a lot of it.
Yes. I mean, it looks great.
Exciting.
Yeah.
So having the floor baked in sort of limited the versatility. Also, man, having all this stuff baked in on the top, man, the double stacking was hard. And also double stacking then became tricky. Like if you wanted to do a second one of these up on it, it was really hard. Although we did have the forest banks fit. The straight bank was designed so it would fit behind this rock and stuff. So you could actually throw a straight bank on here, and then throw another one up.
I still use them pretty often when you need that more overgrown look.
I like to mix and match depending on what the Or if I need some variety, I need a tree in there and whatnot. Definitely, but it's got to be sort of foresty. So which is the downside. So with everything we learned on this, when we went into Wildlands like 3 years later or whatever the heck it was, because it was Caverns Deep went into Hellscape, went into Wildlands.
Yes.
I think, right? Yeah. So it was a couple years later. When we got to revisit the escarpments, we tore off the floor, right? So we kept the same profile, right? So it was once again really important. We wanted these to be able to play together really nicely, and then we kept a lot of the same, right? The same rock language profile is the same, but ripped the floor off the front. And we'd had success with trifectas previously, so we said, hey, we're going to do it with trifectas. So now you can remove the floor, and if you want to swap, we had 2 options. It's a little hard to see. I should take. Let me do this. Anybody that's not familiar with these, we'll do it with the. Well, the best part was we got to expand the system, right? It wasn't just a long straight, a short concave, and a short convex. Right, so with this, like these escarpments, you can see the difference, right? So the trifecta let us go in line with either forest or swamp or mountain, right? Because you could use this to go into swamp, and you could use this to go into mountain. But you could build right down, do those river, which honestly, I do this all the time now, right? Where you're putting this into water or into whatever. Like it's definitely well worth it. And it gave us such great versatility. The one challenge with with the trifectas was we really wanted to make sure that the ledges would be usable on their own, right? The goal was these things needed to look neat if used alone. So you could do like a little river, right? You could do a river type thing if you're doing whatever. And because they weren't gonna be completely flat. They were gonna have stuff kicking up, right? There's rocks and there's bits. Like look at this thing, like right where they're feeding up into the thing. It meant part of the design was these had to have an undercut. All the escarpments have to have an undercut on the front so that we could have a little bit of a slope to these trifectas. Otherwise, they'd be like really cut under. It would look kind of funny across the board. So that's why the escarpments have this very distinct sort of kick out and then cut back in, which looks really neat actually when the water is going under it. It feels like it's been carved away by water over the years. Like it ended up looking okay, but it was definitely a thing. Eli was really worried early on. He's like, I got to do a test sculpt to see if how are we going to be able to make this work and make it look good and whatnot. So very, very valid concern. But man, these were been working great, right? It's definitely something I use a bunch, right? Having the option to be able to go in, I can build on top, I can build in line, I can build just as negative space, like all the options there. And you can double stack, right? Now you can get these things, you can stack them on top of each other in a nice way and build up really smoothly and easily. And yeah, so great improvements across the boards. Although, and we had the whole, oh yeah, and then we also had, oh man, I forgot, we had some fun, that led to a couple of other fun, so we had all the ledges for all the base pieces. We also then did these little guys, which are our secret little all-stars. So the idea here was this would let you transition. One side lines up with the trifecta ledges. So if you're using the trifecta ledges as for negative space building, that works great. And then it swells up to banks profile. So you can go from banks to trifectas. And that also means you can use these as alternate straights, right? So if you're doing a run of trifectas, you can use this as an alternate straight along your trifectas. Oops, I'm off. And then of course you could also, if you're doing banks, you can use it as an alternate straight for your banks. And then also I just end up using this all the time as just as its own transition. I want to sort of peter out a banks run into nothing or whatever. I don't know. They end up being really neat little guys. And you can even just use them as other banks. Like you can have them, like if you have a thing in the middle, like a fork in the stream, you can use this as like a nice little fork in the stream, yada, yada, yada. Not fully. The ones we didn't do was, and I lament it. Once again, we were, anyone here for Wildlands? That was we thought we'd hit our limit with pieces and cameras deep. Nah, we had another 50 in Wildlands. It was
was rough.
It was outrageous.
I mean, it was great, but it was a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and then anyone here for load down? So these guys with these little end caps, we did not do trifectas for, and I lament it because there would be a lot of times where I'm going, building in line, and then I want to use this end cap, and I'm like, God damn it! So what I'll often do is I'll cheat it. I'll put it on top of the floor. I'll build the rest is in line and put a floor down. I build this up, and then I find a way to transition up to this one height up or whatever. But it's less than ideal. I wish, the one downside with going trifecta, the problem with this thing is, and it was by design, they break the, you can see they break the plane, right? It's breaking that 3-inch plane, so then it means the trifecta is going to have to be a base 4-inch if it extends out. So it has to make this a full 1 inch. So then it becomes, now we're on a base 4 with it. So I mean it's doable, but it's just sort of, it's going to introduce some adventures. And then this one also breaks that 3-inch plane. So that was one of the limits, is where just because also everyone was doubled, right? We had we had a trifecta in each in forest and in mountain style. So it was so this was gonna be another 4 pieces, and they were gonna end up being big, and we weren't sure at the time, like, are people going to use these? Even though people would use the caverns ones and whatnot, we didn't know. It's hard to know what stuff's going to be like out in the wild until it's out in the wild. If that makes sense. So, Wildlands reforged. Maybe we'll do some trifectas for these guys. I don't know. It's going to be a puzzle. I don't know. Maybe we'll look at them tonight while we're looking at stuff. We'll put it on the file. And then we had fun. Yeah, sorry, go.
No, go ahead.
And then we had a couple of fun, like the concave didn't need a trifecta. I didn't get the bottom right because we made this one have a nice. It went full on to the out to the 3-inch. It was a full 3x3 by design, right? Because you wanted it to be serve as a concave, and then we didn't want to have to make this a weird little trifecta for it. And it has this really nice little floor that Toby made for it that also has paired pegs, so you can attach to it if you're using it as like a cave. You can attach the bridge, or an elevated cave. You can attach the bridge to the floor. I didn't grab the 4-piece, but most of the core, like all the I don't know, 8 or 9 pieces we did trifectas for. There. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, and so all of this brings us to present. I thought we were ready to transition.
Yeah,
that's all.
Yeah, I think so. Was that a fun little history lesson? That's sort of the arc of where, because I think it's
where trifecta came from. How it's
where the heck the name came from, where the I don't know, the various applications we've had for it. I think it's important to sort of sometimes talk through the design thinking behind some of this stuff, so you can see how we get here. How we get there. Okay, so that is going to propel us into the future. What are we going to do here? All right, we're gonna get feisty tonight, and I forgot my apron at home. I'm sad about, but that makes me feel like I'm really working.
I was gonna say, what do you need an apron to protect you from?
Mostly just to hold the knife sharpener, the honing steel.
You've got a spirit tree.
This is true, but it's not quite the same as a quick draw. But not to demean you, spirit tree. Sorry, you're a very good. You're a good spirit tree. Yeah. The best spirit tree around.
That's right, guys. We're gonna explore Catacomb Trifecta.
All right, so here. So last we left our Intrepid Adventures a whole week ago. We were looking at the. Here, let's get this guy. There. Spirit tree, you're doing a good job there. We believe in you. This guy there too. It needs to be deeper. Okay. We were looking at the prototypes hot off the presses for the what the heck is it? Perilous Frontiers, right? Sand and snow dunes. So everybody's like, well, what the heck? I want to build those in line. So let's see what happens. Oh, and is everybody buckled up? You ready for some?
Oh, we got some new. All right,
some beanage. All right, we got a couple of fun new shapes. All right, so we got this little piggy. Yeah. This is you get your screenshots ready. Right?
You gotta fit the whole thing on the camera if you're gonna.
Yeah, it's bigger than I thought it might have been.
Yeah.
So this is the concave. In case you couldn't tell there, it's a 6x6 footprint. Obviously, we'll cut out. It has you can see in the profile. It has the ridge sticks up. It breaks the 2-inch plane. You can illustrate that. Yeah. Right. See that? It's pretty cool. My chances to break the flat geometry. And there's some critters on the back. Is that a naked mole rat? I don't know. Eli has some little.
It's gonna really struggle out in the snow.
Yeah.
Wait.
I chose a poor time to not have fur.
Is that a frostbitten mole rat?
Well, that was the theory. Was any critter that was designed to be for the desert could then, if it was Arctic, it was just like a fossilized, like a frozen, trapped in ice, whatever. All right, so that is that's the concave. Works. Then we've got this wild guy, which is the what do we call it? The diagonal valley, I think. Right. So this is a crazy looking, right. So it's got two right angles, and then this valley, right. So it dips. Look at that saddle. It's like dips down, and it has these. It's kind of a ridge. You can sort of see there's like a running ridge through there. That's sort of the ridge line that stoops. So this thing is the Arctic hip bone. Yeah, exactly. This thing is look at that. Secret notes. Yeah, literally. What is today? That was printed
It's
on the
the
3rd.
5th.
Yeah, so 2 days ago. So this guy's fun to build with. We'll look at this in a second. And then we have more fun. This guy, which is the diagonal convex.
The lizard tail.
Yeah, the stumpy little lizard tail.
Yeah.
And so this guy is fun, right? So it takes that same, right? It's got the same essential idea as this, but it's stylistically very different. So you can get it because you're going to need a lot of these, or you're going to need a lot of convexes in general, right, to sort of cap dunes out. So this gives you very nice options. It's fun to build with. So like, for instance, you can do this sort of a situation. And the problem I'm going to run into is we only have these are the only 3 convexes we have right now. Although I guess you can't see my camera right now. So you can get some pretty neat organic shapes. And these are some big boys, right? We have definitely, wait, I'm missing a convex here. Yeah. Anyway, you get the idea, right? So, what we're going to look at is how would we trifecta these guys, right? So, let's start really simple. Start with the littlest. Well, I'm going to start with the short straight here. So, all right, what we're going to do, let's start. All right, so first things first, we're going to cut off all the flanges on our blocking mats here. I can't tell you how thrilled I was to find out that someone made white foam that had a 1-inch by 1-inch grid already printed onto it. Definitely was like they knew what my needs were, because clearly my needs are for knitting blocking. That's what these are, knitting blocking mats. I don't even know what that is. What do you block out in knitting? You take all your...
In knitting, I don't know. Somebody who will know.
Yeah, somebody. You know who would know? Miles.
Yeah.
I feel like Miles would be.
Well, he crochets. I don't know if he knits.
Yeah, but he feels like he would know. I feel like it's.
He would have all the terminology.
Fiber crafts are close enough that he'd have an understanding of what happens there. All right, so here's where things get tricky. It's got an angle going that way. This is all right. So, I'm gonna try this one freehand. We may have to end up going over to the scroll saw off camera for some of these. We'll see what happens. And I'm also wasting foam. Hold on, because we can start back here. My mom was an artist, and very early on, taught me to try and maximize your materials, right? Like don't cut in the middle of the construction paper. Cut as close to the edge as possible so you have as much construction paper as long as possible, and save all those weird looking scraps because you never know where you're going to use them. And, 40 years later, she still has scraps from of construction paper that I cut out when I was a little kid. In fact, I should be cutting this the other direction, but whatever, we'll get the idea. All right, so we're going to just try and freehand this thing. So the idea is tracing the, so I'm trying to get, so this is a very logically sized 3.5 inches long. See that there? So we want to sort of terminate it at the 4-inch mark, trifecta world. So I've traced the shape. We're gonna have to sort of approximate the slant. The slope is coming this way. So Eli did this kind of neat taper. So the profile on these he was trying to have the slope in the middle be a little more gradual, so it's better for getting minis on there, especially when you have little like so this like these little raised areas then help flatten it up even more, so you can get it so it's flatter, so it's more playable. And then it drops off similar to the banks at the very end. Because also in casting in Dwarvenite, narrowing to a really, really, really fine point, it's hard for the Dwarven to hold up. So you like bulking it up a little better makes it work better. So theoretically, it's going to cast better. And these are also this is like somewhere between a 16th and an 8th inch too high. So really, you have to imagine just belt sending off the bottom a little bit. Let's see actually how much too high it is. Yeah, it's like a 16th. A generous 16th. Let's call it 3/32. Something like that. Anyway, so imagine 3/32 off the bottom. But anyway, we're gonna rough and tumble it for these purposes and see what happens. So I'm gonna try and just do a little angle. Probably cutting this off camera because it's gonna be too hard to do it on camera. While also remaining all my fingers intact.
Dragos, why do you know 6'7"?
Dragos is very hip,
Do you know 6'7"?
Yeah,
Your kids.
I've got kids.
Right, your kids.
It's they drives them crazy because they're like, man, there's stupid kids at school. Or like,
Oh, so they don't like it.
No, they think it's ridiculous.
I mean, it is, but
yeah. Well, they probably have to hear it on a regular basis too.
Yes, they definitely do. It's just interesting that they don't. So they're not into the Skibbity Riz, Ohio.
No, they've never been to Ohio.
They're just into magic.
Yeah.
I don't think most
like normal geek things like.
I think most of the kids who say Ohio haven't been to Ohio.
What does Ohio mean?
Nothing. Like none of it really means anything. That's part of why I like really struggle with it. Is as far as the slang goes.
Ohio does
a good amount of it. A good amount of it is just kind of nonsense. Or like when it does come to mean something.
How would you use it in a sentence? I'm going to Ohio.
How would you use?
I found 2 basilisks in Ohio. Round on both sides, high in the middle. It's great.
It's often associated with brain rot.
But it's just like a sound you make, Ohio.
It's just absurdist. It's just like.
All right, so this guy.
Ohio was like boring. I thought. No, it's supposed to be. Nifty. Obviously surreal and random phenomena that supposedly occur in the U.S. state with the same. I don't know. I don't think there's an actual. I don't think it actually has like a set meaning because like it's not like sick or rad or something like that where it has like a particular use. It gets used in a lot of places. Like it's I don't know.
But how do they use it in a sentence? Like
they just say Ohio, or they'll say like that something is so Ohio.
What's up, Chris? Ohio.
Yeah, something like that.
That's Ohio.
I don't know, man. It's
I don't
even. A lot of it is just kind of.
This is why I live in New York. I don't have to be in Ohio.
There's a lot of like post irony. Maybe there's more to it that I don't understand, but I've tried.
If you don't understand it, then we're done for. Like
I am eternally with it.
You are.
Yeah.
I mean, you're the most with it person at Dwarven Forge.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so.
We
got a little guy. That seems like it might work. And if we did the double-sided treatment, right? This could be, there's enough of a slope there because we got a slope here that you could buy that as a ledge. We'd make, this would be the, over the dead side back there. Yeah. All right, so far it's not crazy, and then it lets you build in line with your floors.
Wait, when did I explain glizzy on stream?
Glizzy?
Yeah.
Is that like something that's sparkly?
No, it's a hot dog.
Oh, they did talk about that at like
Glizzy
a
guzzling.
few months
I don't even
ago.
remember. I don't even
know.
remember. I don't even remember that coming up.
You guzzled many glizzies first, and then it went. Yeah.
I haven't even had that many. I haven't even had that many glizzies.
Hmm?
I used to.
Takes this one.
Goes back down the hole.
All right, so let's go. Let's do the hard one. We didn't learn anything from there. No challenges.
Nate, do the
so
edge
far, so
widths
good.
line up to things though?
The what?
Do the edge widths line up to things?
Edge width. Which edge? The edge of this?
Yeah.
Not currently, but it'll line up to itself.
We just make sure that they
So-
all have the same. So the trifecta
Yeah, because
system.
so
And then
so
you make a
all of
trifecta to
the-
bank transition.
Every one of these, every one of the dunes has the exact same profile, right? So it has the same slope, the exact same length. So they all terminate at the same thing. The middle differs, but the ends are identical, or as identical as you can get by hand. Right, so that lines up pretty damn as far as as Eli can do by hand. So then theoretically, all of these should terminate in essentially identical little edge profile. But you know what? We're going to discover. This is part of the fun.
Will it throw the dunes off the grid though?
No, put this. So right now, so the goal is currently, we are. Can you see on this? Can you see on this map? We are exactly on the 4-inch. Yeah, put it.
It puts you on the 4. Okay.
Right. So, boom,
Puts them on the grid.
boom. We're exactly
'Cause
4x2. Right?
Currently, with them being scattered, they don't go all the way out to 4 inches.
They go to
Yeah.
3.5.
Because there needs to be like a safe
Right,
space
you see
there.
the little line there? It's 3.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Hamster Hang Ohio stream still an all-timer. That is,
It is.
one of the funniest things that ever happened
It
online.
gets referenced like
Very often.
more than probably anything
It's
else.
incredible.
The best. All right,
I
so
never did 9 glizzies in 9 innings, but I could do it.
Ooh,
I could manage.
the aftermath.
You get
That
enough.
you'd
I mean, yeah,
regret.
the aftermath, but that just is gonna happen after a ball game, no matter what. I've never gone to a Mets game and not come back wrecked.
Yeah, I guess that's the experience, right? All right, let's do a straight. That'll be great. All right, so
And I guess that's the reason why you wouldn't, because I guess the other way to do a trifecta would be if you cut basically the end of the slope off, but then if you did it that way,
we don't want to.
you would have it off the grid.
These need to be self-contained, right?
Yeah.
Similar to the escarpments, like you want it to be a thing. That
otherwise
you
to
can just slam
build
it
scatter,
down.
it would have to.
Yeah. Yeah.
9 beers too. All right, I didn't know the 9 beers was included. That might be too much.
9 beers, 9 glizzies.
9 beers, 9 glizzies,
and
9 innings.
First of all, the 9 innings is too much for me already.
I mean, the beers
is-
at stadiums are very watered down.
I went to a baseball game with my dad when I was a kid, and it was like the most boring experience of my life. Not into it. All right. So we're gonna very precisely here, and this is indicative of a lot of our process, right? You kind of in this stage, you kind of just rough, you down and dirty stuff pretty quickly, pretty rough. Like this doesn't need to be super precise. It just needs to be precise enough to test the idea and see if it's worth getting precise, if that makes sense.
9 beers at Yankee Stadium. I'm not going to Yankee Stadium.
That's like $180.
Yeah, I'm not going to Yankee Stadium for many reasons, but the beers are up there.
This guy. All right. So I
Did
measured.
that.
So I measured the large straight. Right. We got this. We got our mine camera. Yeah. We got a line. We got a line over yonder. That brings us exactly to the 4-inch mark. right? So this is going to be our 4-inch line here. I trace the profile, and now I'm going to just kind of eyeball. I'm trying to approximate that slant with the blade, and I'll see if I can rough another one of these in.
Yeah, mix. So this would let you build them inline without having to put them on top of floors, or having to come up with like another elevation method. The other thing it does is those trifecta ledges then would kind of become alternate banks as well.
Yeah.
Kind of the way that the trifecta ledges in Wildlands do.
And that's a question. How do people use their trifecta ledges, their Wildlands trifecta ledges? Like
I think Lori was saying that she uses them more for rivers than she does for like against the mountain or against the escarpments usually.
I use them as alternate banks.
Yeah.
Most of the time I'm using them to build inline, but I use them as alternate banks or when I'm stacking. Like they sometimes need to be, like if I need little, if I need some sort of like, I don't know, bank style thing, they tend to be my go-to for alternate banks when I have weird shapes and sizes I need to. What else? How do people use them? Rivers mostly is that's an interesting answer.
Mm-hmm.
What else? See how that fits. You know, the fun one you can do with them is if you need, and I'm trying to think of an example of when you need it. It's usually when I'm like double stacking.
I use the forest ones against the escarpments more often, and I use the mountain ones to do like mountain river streams more often because there aren't mountain banks. So if you have like a river,
banks 99% of the time, interesting.
Yeah.
So this one sometimes you can put one against and then one out if you just need like a little tiny step down without doing a full bank. If you need somehow to transition down and you need a little. I do that a bunch too. Sculpted floors to terrain trays when I've run out of sculpted floors. That's an interesting. So you use them against as the edge of the sculpted floor to drop down to a terrain tray. And the flat side for ruined walls. Like this. That's interesting. Floors in line against these escarpments. Yeah.
Put that against castle walls or something.
Trim pieces. How often do people use them? That's the other question, right? Are you...
Pretty much every Wildlands build that isn't fully scatter, I'll use it. I'll use some of them. Honestly, the problem is running out of them here when we're doing like big conventions and stuff. So you'll eat them up fast when you're trying to do
like
really
9
impressive.
glizzies? Eat them up fast?
Yeah.
All right, let's see how I did. I just sort of I balled it. That worked. That lines up pretty well. How are we on terms of the... Look at that.
It's on grid.
On the grid. Holy moly.
Do they have use if you use scatter for
outside? I can do this all the
outside?
time. Huh?
You can use them, like if you want to drop the whole null as part of the scatter or something, you can use them around the edges of the whole null to kind of sell it.
You could put them around a floor if you wanted to. Like if you wanted to put the spirit tree in your build or something, you could use them as an edge.
Yeah.
Or spirit tree.
But you could also use the banks for that too. But it's
This is not a fantastic looking bank in that it's very straight. But maybe because we already have some robust banks, maybe it's not the end of the world.
What I think is interesting about them is, to me, these trifectas are kind of coming out when you use them in bank form. It's kind of looking like a more intentionally like shoveled or cleared path as opposed to the banks.
Snowplow.
Yeah, like it looks more like it's been cleared by something instead of it being like a natural accumulation.
This is the path up to the door of the palace or something.
Yeah, and then people in chat are saying the same thing. Yeah, that's how it's looking to me. Like something came through here and like tore this up.
Yeah. So one of the things I like to do when I'm making foam mock prototypes is I edge them with a Sharpie, so it's easier to sort of see where the lines are, especially because I'm a lot of times communicating via pictures or video to somebody that's not in person. So it's easier to see. And you know the other secondary reason I do that? Anybody guess? Besides, like, I like drawing on stuff.
I wonder if it also works as like icy chunks on the edge of water. It can kind of look like
It does look
ice,
kind of ice flow.
ice that's eroded.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you wanted to do an ice flow.
Yeah.
So I think there's a value to
That's a good
that
one.
over the banks.
They do feel like kind of broken. Did anybody guess? No.
ADD.
Yeah. Well, also that, you know, that's an answer for everything. That's cheating, but you're dead on. I appreciate it.
We're 10 minutes past the giveaway word.
Uh-oh.
Hang on. Mr. Plow.
Edging.
I'm
See-
trying to.
Big in the painting community.
I'm
too.
trying to keep our government funding. I'm trying to keep this show.
The government shut
family-friendly.
down, Chris. We're
Oh yeah,
okay.
you're right. You're right. All right, let's go. With, all right,
we
let's,
let
all
it
right.
rip. Well,
All right, let's go with edging. Hey, if you want a chance to win a $50 Dwarven Forge gift card, go ahead and type edging in chat.
Because it's important. So the other reason that I do the edge highlights with a Sharpie is, and you'll start to see it over the course of the night, I generate an enormous number of scraps as I'm working, and it helps me delineate the scraps from the actual pieces.
This is real. This is not a.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because when I have a
this is not
pile of stuff, and
leftover.
you're like, you know, is this a cut thing, or is this a scrap? This is a scrap, but it looks like a cut thing. But you're like, but I'm like, oh wait, I've drawn on this. I know it's a thing, so I can pick out the ones in the pile of nonsense. So this counts. I think that's ADD adjacent. Like, it's being realistic with workflows and patterns.
There's a good word for it. It's not a coping mechanism.
Strategy.
Yeah, like there's a more positively associated word than coping mechanism for it.
Clever.
When it's like learning to work with.
Well, it's the reality of like, look, I mean, look at this. It's hard, you know, some of these things, like,
I know
when you're cutting a whole bunch of stuff all over the place, and now imagine this times 100. I mean, there's just stuff everywhere. I'm like, yeah, I need to. So indicating this stuff on there definitely helps.
Daigo. So missed almost the entire stream. So basically, what we're doing currently is we're exploring the idea of making trifecta ledges to let you build these dunes in line, and then they would also hopefully be useful as alternative banks. So we're exploring that right now. He's cutting them out of foam and seeing how it looks. So we're kind of exploring that option and seeing if it works.
It's and we don't know exactly what's going to happen, where it's going to go, and that's part of the fun. All right, so we did the two straights. That's pretty good, pretty easy. So far, so good. Let's do this small concave. This will be an easy one, or this convex, and we'll do a concave, and then we'll go into dangerous territory.
He's also kind of showing like how you actually plot out and create those scraps too.
Just give me this is what we're supposed to show the process in this show, so we're showing the process. All right, so this little piggy, we're gonna line this up.
Right, because it needs to go all the way out.
It needs to be. We need to make a 4. You know, we want to be on the 4-inch, so that we're gonna end up with a piece like this. So same thing. We're gonna trace this guy out, and there's some complications. There's some other pieces that we haven't seen. We haven't seen 2 other pieces that are in this collection, as well as there's 2 pending pieces that may or may not happen. One of those pending pieces would be an absolute trifecta disaster, so I don't know, but we'll get there. Like, right, once again, part of the process is trying to discover, like, not getting hung up on all the problems, but like first is the discovery. It's like court, right? Is that how they do it? It's discovery first. It's like we just sort of see what the realities are, and then you start digging into like, what are the problems that this will create, whatever. So we're not thinking too much about the problems right now. We're just in creation mode, which is always the most fun. So we're going to look at the once again, I'm going to sort of look at the angle of this edge, because I have to sort of approximate this. So we've got our trace here. We're going to approximate this angle with the razors I'm cutting, and we're going to try and do that sort of thing, trying to be at this angle. So it's like kind of like it's like a 45 that goes up and down like 60 to 30, something like that. All right, we'll see what happens. Interestingly, I thought this would be easier with a scroll saw, but I think this is all the hand job here. Chris,
You can't.
sometimes you just
You can't blame me for that one.
Can't blame you.
So we probably wouldn't be able to magnetize these since they're kind of needing to be double-sided.
No. And what
Yeah.
we discovered, so in the dungeon ledges, we put magnets in inside. They were double-sided. We put magnets inside, and it's really negligible. It just adds a lot of complication to the construction for sort of negligible. Like, it doesn't really get us. Like, I don't have anybody ever built with the dungeon ledges and noted that there are magnets in there? Probably not, because it barely grips, because there's like, I don't know, an 1/8 inch of dwarvenite between the magnet and the ground. But we tried.
Mm-hmm.
We learned.
It doesn't get in the way, at least. It doesn't hurt. Usually.
Well, it
actually can
just
hurt.
makes the piece more complicated to
Yeah.
make on our end, which just hurts us. It slows them down, and yeah. All right, let's see how that. I didn't feel as confident on that one. A lot of curves. Well, okay. Well, the nice thing is foam is very forgiving. Just too little trim here.
Doesn't stick to the tray, but stops you from stacking them in storage if they repel each other.
Yeah.
True. With pieces this small, you're probably not going to feel the lack of magnetization anyways.
Yeah.
If the rest of your build is magnetized down, you'll be fine.
This is kind of close enough for, how is it sitting here? Yeah, it's sitting pretty well. We're off by a spickle, but, all right, it's bugging me a little bit. Maybe I'll, all right, we're going to cut.
How do these foam pieces then become molds? We send the factory the foam and tell them to figure it out.
Yeah, and 9 months later, a baby's born.
Basically, when it gets proven in foam, then the like an armature is prepared with the right geometry or with like the right measurements on it, basically.
Yeah,
so the
they'll
sculptors can take a
calculate
crack
out
at it.
like, there's a lot of crazy measuring, and these ones are tough. I know, like, I don't remember how Eli did the original trifectas, or the escarpment trifectas. I remember were really tricky, and some of it required just sort of manually, like like if you were building this, the armature, it was done with the dead side. It was done like that on the, you build the armature on a piece of wood, so then he could hold it against the escarpment. The escarpment was sculpted first, so he could hold it against the escarpment and check the fit as he was sculpting to make sure like everything fit. So it was like a pretty analog process and painful.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's like, yeah, it's still kicking up. Hang on. Yeah, it's good enough for government work. So you know what's next? Edging.
Nice.
So we know that this is a piece.
Speaking of edging, we're going to go ahead and roll the giveaway. Chris Garner.
Woo!
I think you won recently. Let me see. Sometimes it strikes twice in close succession. Yeah, you won very recently.
Nice.
So I assume it's just going to be the same email from a couple weeks back. I will get that going tomorrow, probably. Okay, we'll just do that. It is not the first time, especially during campaigns, we'll have people win very close together sometimes.
Yeah, it's part of the fun.
That's how you know it's truly random.
When the same person just keeps winning over and over again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a sure.
If it happened more than twice,
the lottery, right?
If it happened more than twice, it would be highly suspicious. So far, I don't think it's ever happened more than twice.
Some people, it's still never happened.
Yeah, there's people who have been watching for
forever,
over 5 years, that have still never won.
Also, how you know it's random, right? It's also how you know
it's also how you know it's random, yeah. Oh, that could just be that we're,
Although maybe there's some statistics person watching that can like better explain it for us.
Actually, you could just be really good at faking it. Oh,
Oops, I missed there.
Playing the part of 6. I haven't seen 6 in a long time. Hope he's all right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Stuff happens. People come and go. He'd been
Life
gone
happens.
he'd been gone for a while before, and then I think he came back. I think he came back at some point during cities or dungeons. He's poking around again.
Yeah.
But you know, people get busy.
Life happens. Things happen.
Paying attention to a niche
Hobbies change.
tabletop terrain company isn't always people's priority.
Honestly, I don't know why anybody watches this show. Like,
Is this interesting?
what
You're
do we
watching,
do for 2 hours? Like,
you're watching us draw on foam and talk about glizzies.
yeah.
Man, that World Series is good.
All right. So we got into and interesting. Oh, let's see, dead. This is probably dead too. All right. So interestingly, we have ka-chung. Yeah, there's something there.
Little families developing. It does look carved out. You know, you could do like a crater with it, kind of.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, there's something here.
It's a very different look than the banks.
Yeah, and I think we should lean into that if we're
Yeah.
gonna do it. It seems like in snow, it makes a lot of sense. Like it can feel like we definitely do kind of an icy thing. In sand, it's a little harder. Maybe it's like
Yeah.
dirt, like harder, like because sand doesn't want to do this angle.
Yeah.
Feels,
What would be?
I mean, it's doing it here, so maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe there's rocks in it. Maybe there's, I don't know. But it also has to sit flat against this. So, you know what? That's an Eli problem. This is
just tell them to figure it out.
Yeah. Well, this is once again not trying to dwell too much on the problems down the pike. We're in exploration, right? We're just trying to see if this leads anywhere interesting. See what happens.
Yeah.
Right, this is like a glimpse in the process. There's literally after last week's episode, I was like, man, I don't know, we should look at these things. And I realized, I'm like, let's just do it on the air. Let's let them. This is your fault, so now you get to see what it's like, where it leads. Okay, we're gonna do another easy one, Mr. Cave,
Oh yeah.
Mr. Concave. Can I get you? Boy, this is a big boy.
Yeah. These pieces are gonna be.
It's gonna
expensive
be
molds.
the escarpments of.
Yeah.
Perilous.
Yeah.
Escarpments.
Texture the edges of the sand or snow is funneling down the thickness like the side of an eroding sandhill.
Hmm.
I think playing into it as erosion makes sense.
Yeah. Or maybe there's some like dirt under there or something, or maybe it's like, maybe there's another substrate.
You know that like dungeon floor terrain tray we did in Dungeons Reforged?
Yes.
If like the sand or snow has been cleared away to like reveal this kind of like.
Yeah, it would look really cool.
Yeah.
Is this right?
There's probably stuff that can be done.
Well, there's always stuff that can be done. And that's sort of, sometimes the sculptors are in that tough spot where there's a piece of geometry that everybody's like, yeah, this is great, it's perfect, whatever. And then they get it and they're like, oh no, how do I make this into something that looks real?
Yeah.
Like turning some of that geometry is it's a little trickier side. That's also part of the adventure. All right, so we're looking at this angle again. Wait, I'm going this way. Oh, see, I'm almost backwards. All right. It's all pretty uniform. There's one stupid there. And out there. All right, let's see what happens. It's a weird weird angle this one has to be cut at. I don't like it.
Just what happens when you have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's going to be interesting if was the consensus when people were talking about trifectas was that they tend to use them not as often up against the thing, but more often in their a secondary purpose.
It depends on the purpose, but I think that there at least are people who use it predominantly as an alternate bank.
Yeah.
Like even the people who use it against mountains will still use it as an alternate bank as well.
So that's like my only worry is that we need to make sure that they look like they can make some sort of banky type thing. They want to, they definitely need to do that well if that seems to be a thing people are using them for a lot.
If they're going to be sculpted and textured on both sides, they need to be genuinely compelling on both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the compelling part of this, of the side that I was doing right there, is that it's getting us continuous. You're going continuous into the banks.
It'd be interesting.
Into the dunes, rather.
It'd be interesting, actually. For the snow version, if you have them flipped upside down, does it look like kind of like an ice shelf over a river or something?
Yeah, ice, like,
I think you don't get that with sand as much.
Edge works really well. The question is, can that same sculpt work as, can we do that same thing in desert?
Is that going to be compelling? Or
yeah, like what's causing that edge in desert?
Do we make them look a little rockier and less full sand or something?
Yeah. All right, I think that's going to fit. Let's see how we do on the grid. Yeah.
Downside of this one is needing sculpted floor that lines up.
Say again?
The downside to this one is needing sculpted floor that lines up. I guess because this one is like 2.5 as a... If you have a 2-inch floor...
Well, theoretically...
Yeah.
And it's not 100% precise here, but once we edge it, we'll see it.
You pop a 2-inch.
This should be 2 inches.
Yeah.
Right? This should be 2 inches right here, right?
Yeah.
So this will work. We have a 2x2 floor, so this will actually play really nicely with the floors. Because theoretically, right, as long as these all have the exact same, right, these all have the same profile and the same length, so these should always line up with our floors, assuming everything, assuming all the math works out. Once a few assumptions to be made, but I think it'll pan out. So time for some edging.
Yeah, I think these definitely. Well, they look more. I guess the thing is they look less. In terms of like, if you're talking about making roads, they look more kind of planned out and intentionally created.
Yeah.
Although I think it's particularly with the ice, you could look at it as erosion if it is going down into like a river, which is interesting. How heavy will these hills be? Ooh.
Probably the same weight as the escarpments.
Yeah. They're interesting because they don't go straight up, so the volume might be less than.
They have a bigger footprint and the same height, but less slope.
Yeah.
Or more gradual slope. So I think it's going to end up being the same volume or very similar. That's my guess, but I could be wrong. Or we can compare.
They will be heavy enough to use as weapons. Is the point though?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have a lot of good weapons in Perilous. Like if you need to murder somebody with Dwarvenite, I think we'll have you covered.
Pump for that concave. Yeah. There's some fun variations to the profiles of the different dunes. It just kind of makes them look really natural and varied when they're all put together.
The 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 ridge version, right? So we have, this is the saddle, the valley. We have the ridge version of this that's really killer, right? So it's kind of the same, roughly the same footprint, but it goes up instead of down, which is pretty cool, and it breaks the 2 inches like in a nice way. That's the last one we're waiting for. Well, of the basics.
I'd say that generally, when I make a large wildlands build, that I use about twice as many ledges as escarpments.
Interesting. What are you using all the ledges for?
I mean, if you use 1 ledge per escarpment, if you are making the escarpments in line, and then you're also doing banks or some other negative space. Other potential use of these trifectas would be to allow you to put a buried building inside the dune, but still have it maintain the bottom slope profile.
Is that a Finley?
Yes.
Wait, put a
buried building into the dune, but still have it maintain the bottom slope profile.
Like,
good point.
So you'd do like you'd build, like if this was your building, is that what you're saying? Like that sort of a thing, and then
you have it like against the dune, but then it would be. It's like, I think what he's trying to say is you would, if you have it back, it'd be, well, you still got, no.
Well, it doesn't and it's not going to line.
Yeah. It doesn't quite do it.
Banks might.
I don't know.
No. It's thinking in 4-dimensional chess again.
Yeah. Yes, that sort of idea. Okay. It'd have like a little gap, but if it doesn't bother you, that would be okay. Just depends on how much. People are bothered in different amounts by things not lining up like exactly perfectly.
This is true.
Yeah.
The thresholds of botheredness are interesting to see.
Yeah. For some people, like if everything isn't precise, it's a real problem. For others, like they'll slap 2 things that don't go together at all, and like as long as it gets the idea across, they're fine.
And everything in between is a spectrum. All right, so we got 4 of those. Let's do this guy, and then I'm saving this little piggy for last because
I don't know what you do there.
It's gonna be a
some beast. Wild trifecta swells.
And then we still have there's the ridge, which is gonna be similar to this, and then there's one other definite piece which should be easy, and then there's 2 more potential pieces, one of which doesn't work at all with this. I don't know. We'll see. Once again, we're chipping away. All right, so this guy's going to take 2 pieces, and they are not symmetrical. And what's going to be nice about this is going to generate between this, holy moly. Well, what's not nice is we are going to have between this and the ridge and this thing, we're going to have 5 different convex pieces.
That's nuts.
What is nice is if you're trying to use them to make ice flows or something, you want lots of convexes for ice flows.
Mm-hmm.
So particularly if you want like 5-inch diameter ice flows, you're going to be really in business. Because we don't have a smaller, I don't know. We'll see what the collection looks like. It's going to be interesting. This one, oh man, that is annoying. Look at that. Can you see this is like almost...
Is that a thing where we could adjust it? Could the sculpt be adjusted to like actually work with it?
Maybe.
Because man, it'd be nice not to have to make an extra mold.
That's wild.
It's extremely close.
I mean, once again, this is just back of the envelope, right? This is just quick, down and dirty. But it's interestingly, it's you can't really see from the camera. There's quite a gap underneath. You can't see it.
Can't see it, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, I guess it's not especially. Yeah, it's not exactly because it hits in different places than it does here. But, there might be. Oof, that's gonna be a fun one.
The other one
we'll get there.
definitely bends in a way that it needs a different cutout, though.
It would be really nice if if we could use the same one.
Saving that mold would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, just because it's essentially repeating the same. Like otherwise, it's going to be 5% different on the same thing. It's going to be confusing to find which one lines up with which and whatever. All right, so this is once again. Yeah. This is why we're doing this. We're discovering.
What if there were exactly two different ones?
Yeah.
What if we had one straight, one convex, and one concave, and it worked with every dune?
Then it would the profiles might start getting less interesting.
They would definitely get less interesting if it was that simplified.
And this side is going to be very different, right? This side does not doesn't play well with others. All right, well let's do so we're gonna do this repetitive one anyway. So we just have I wanna just have a complete collection. Part of my complete breakfast. So this one was this is for the concave. I'm gonna write concave. All right, concave on there. All right, so we've lined up with our grid. Man, did I ever mention how convenient it is to have foam that has a grid baked in? Really magical. All right, we got our sizing there. Just want to double check anything. This is kind of an aggressive angle. Okay. We're on this side.
Help have some sort of thoughtful touch to help tell them apart. It'd be interesting if, I mean, yeah, if we
That's a really good idea.
Or like a pull accessory hole in one or something, or
a frozen naked mole rat on
a wounded mole rat.
There's a larval remoraz on the side of one of these things. There's How'd I do?
When is the annual Dwarven Forge art car parade / competition? Why isn't it
like Burning Man art cars, but Dwarven Forge? That would be amazing.
So
people would show up in force with flamethrowers and like, that would be amazing. And why isn't it?
So what makes it Dwarven Forge? Are you building Dwarven Forge on the car?
No, it's just inspired by.
Just inspired by Dwarven Forge. Just inspired by.
Yeah. Wow, that is a perfect fit right out of the gate. Go me. Magic. All right. Edge away. You know what? My mom would be very proud of this. Look at this. I have generated very little waste. I'm using all the buffalo, Chris. For all these glizzies.
We should put a buffalo in the.
Just a giant buffalo on the side. The whole side of the thing is like
a buffalo frozen in the dune.
Yeah. They are very, very, very big. Very big.
Yeah, turns out.
Yeah. Yeah. Saw some in Yosemite.
Which is weird because their wings are so small.
Tiny. Like you wouldn't think they could fly.
Yeah. Well, that's why they can't. The wings are way too small for their bodies.
I thought they just did it secretly, like turkeys,
Mm.
right? You never see turkeys fly, but they can fly.
Can they?
Yeah. Yeah, they roost in trees.
No.
Yeah. Turkeys can fly.
I don't think they roost. Are there still wild
just always
turkeys
Yeah.
outside of the
My folks
alcohol?
My folks have like I don't really count 18 in a flock that wander by like on a daily basis.
Yes, wild turkeys can fly, but are not built for long distance travel and use flight mainly to
Yep.
escape predators or to reach roosting spots in trees. They can reach
Thank
speeds
you,
of up to
Wikipedia.
55 miles per hour in short bursts. Domestic turkeys, however, are often too heavy to fly
Yeah.
due to selective breeding for increased body mass. Okay, so we make the...
It's kind of like house cats.
That's fair.
You know,
Yeah,
these apex predators that are
mine
now
can't fly at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're just sitting by their bowl.
Oh yeah, these wild turkeys are like majestic looking. They are
Yeah.
not the
And they're big. And they're
Yeah.
like And
They
they can surprisingly like fly. Like those wings are big. And
they look very different than what I'm used to turkeys looking like.
Well, it's just like a banana is different than what a banana used to look like.
That's fair. We killed the real bananas, right?
Yeah.
These don't exist anymore.
No, we just have new and improved hand-shaped bananas. The
They scare my kids in the backyard.
Yeah. They're not as scary as swans.
Original turkeys are gone, but the wild turkeys we have now are rewilded from domesticated ones, apparently.
Really?
Huh. There are raccoons in like the UK and Scotland now.
That does not surprise me.
Yeah. They
are an unstoppable force.
They're not
They probably
natural
stowed
there.
away on a plane. And
what people are thinking is that people smuggled them over to use as pets and then they got out.
smuggled them over as pets.
There's not a ton of them, but like I was looking up if they had raccoons there. I can't remember why I was looking that up. I was looking up if they had raccoons in Scotland.
But here's the thing: once you have raccoons, that's it. They're not like they're never going away. Those
no, they're not going anywhere.
They are too crafty, too scavengery. They're survivors.
Yeah.
Yeah. And those crafty little paws, like, they creep me out. They're always wearing a mask. You don't know what they're up to.
I love raccoons. Man.
Saddle.
Terrifying opposable thumbs. They're just so bottom heavy.
Yeah, but they're also smart.
Yeah. Well, that's
like
actually what
their brains are in their butt.
That's what I was gonna say. Like that's actually what the They just got extra brain.
It's just the body is a giant brain.
He's got extra brain.
All the organs are in their head. Yeah, that tracks. This is definitely true. See, people learn a lot of important animal facts on this show.
Yeah.
Like
that's
the
main
physiology of a raccoon.
That's the main thing here. That's what we do.
Yeah. You didn't know, this is why you're tuning in. What am I doing? This guy wants to be...
I was looking up something else. There's a town in New Jersey that has a wild population of around like 150 parrots, I think.
Parrots?
That got out at some point and they've just like been breeding. I think it's parrots.
And they're in Jersey? So
yeah,
are they just like swearing all the time?
They just hang out in it was some kind of bird. Maybe it's not parrots, but it's some kind of bird that you don't see in the wild. That
dodo birds.
There's a very small There's a very small population of them, but they've been like around 150 for the last couple decades now. It's very funny. Not peacocks. No, they definitely fly. Here, let me look at it real quick.
All right, I'm cheating a little on this corner. Just once
it's
again,
Edgewater, right? Yeah, it's Edgewater.
Edgewater.
Yeah. What are the birds say there? It is parrots.
Parrots. Huh.
It's Quaker parrots. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, they have.
They're Quakers.
Yeah, they say there's around 200 that they've been counting. They got out. They escaped sometime in the 1980s.
Of course.
Or since at least 1980. Course. People are tracing it to they think they escaped from a damaged crate at JFK Airport. And then they settled down in Edgewater and they've just kind of they've maintained like a pretty steady population, and they just all hang out
I
in.
love it.
They just all hang out in Edgewater.
Of course they do.
They're not supposed to be here. They're from like South America, but they're kept as pets a lot up here. At some point they got out. And now there's just a bunch of wild Quaker parrots in Edgewater. Parrots, not Quaker pirates.
Quaker pirates
It's
would
very
be
different.
amazing. I mean, pirate ships already look like they're built by Quakers. Like
They're pulling up. They're just all entirely still just man road. James Blackwood, Raccoon Whisperer. Yeah, I believe that Canada's got a ton of raccoons up there.
oh yeah, and probably like the most feral, like half raccoon, half Wolverine. It's just
Quaker pirate needs to be my costume next Halloween.
Quaker pirate, like the Quaker Oats guy, but
Yeah,
with an
exactly
eye
what I was
patch.
thinking.
With a-
Just cross over the Quaker Oats guy with Captain Crunch. Or Captain Morgan, I guess.
yeah, Captain Crunch. Is he a pirate? So much as he's like a jovial sailor.
I guess he's a captain. Yeah, he's not supposed to be a pirate. Didn't they give him?
Give him a pirate backstory. I don't know.
Right, he has a C on his hat. Okay.
That's for captain.
Yeah, just so you know, or was it for
Because that's
Crunch?
how you know you're a captain when your captain's hat says captain.
Or is it for
A
Crunch?
captain, CAPN, right?
Yeah, I know about shoe bills. Don't worry. I fully know about shoe bills. What really makes them unsettling is the eyes.
Yeah, we have three very. So we're gonna have theoretically 5 very similar pieces here, but maybe one of them, maybe we can double up, and we'll have to see what happens with the ridge. Should we look at the? Let's look at the clay. We'll get spicy.
Look at the clay. You got the clay on you?
Not on me, but
Okay.
um,
Yes, peacocks do scream like they're being murdered.
Yes.
They have peacocks in the Prospect Park Zoo, and anytime we're walking by, like you will just hear them screeching. Sometimes, certain times of the year, you'll hear them just screeching nonstop.
yeah, for such a beautiful bird, they make
Captain Crunch has bounties in over 27 territories. Only Mrs. Crunch knows for sure what the C stands for.
Hmm.
Is there a Mrs. Crunch? I'm gonna
Canonically,
just type that into Google and see what they come up with. Is there a Mrs. Crunch?
you have to say Captain Crunch or Mrs. Crunch.
Yes, Mrs. Crunch is a character from the Horrid Henry series. I don't care about Horrid Henry. Is there a Mrs. Crunch?
Captain Crunch.
Captain Crunch. Have they done a Mrs. Pac-Man?
It's just Captain Crunch with a bow on her hat.
No, there is no Mrs. Crunch in the serial's official storyline, which features Captain Crunch, a
There's
sea captain named Horatio Magellan Crunch.
Horatio Magellan Crunch.
Yeah, I get the Magellan part because he's a sailor.
I love that. No, I love that. The Horatio is the best part.
Yeah,
That's it's genius. I love that there's lore.
I like that. I like that it uses the phrase "the serial's official storyline." Yeah, I wish they would do.
It. The second season got a little like.
I would actually love.
Got a little soggy for me.
I'd actually love if serials did what like comics do and just bring on different writers who just do runs with their
character.
Yeah, like
and then they kill him off, and then someone comes back, and then they do a thing. And
there'd be some narrative. I guess
really
the closest we got was when Mr. Peanut died.
Didn't Lucky from Lucky Charms? I thought he had a lot of. Didn't he have something terrible befall him or something? Or the Trix Rabbit also was always up to.
Well, they always had bad things befall them because it's usually kids steal their cereal.
Yeah, well, it's delicious.
It is interesting. I feel like that is the dichotomy of a lot of serial characters is, are they sharing the cereal with the kids or are the kids stealing the cereal from them? It's always one of the two. Captain Crunch is benevolent. Captain Crunch is always giving it to them and is like
Tony
generally
the Tiger
excited
likes to give it to them.
Tony the Tiger loves giving it to the kids. Trix Rabbit, no. Trix is trying to get it from the kids.
Right. Lucky Charms, they were trying to steal this Lucky Charms, right?
Yes. they're straight up robbing him. Yeah.
Chester Cheetah was always like a pusher. Like, hey kids, you
Yeah,
want some
Chester
Cheetos?
Chester Cheetah is overly enthusiastic about it.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
he's like really trying to get them hooked on it.
Yeah. That honeycomb monstrosity
Oh,
I think exists outside of I think he exists outside of morality.
that's
I don't think he's
it's
I
outside
don't
of
know
space and time.
I don't know if we can say that he has like
Toucan
conscience.
Sam always is leading the kids to his
Yeah,
cereal, right? With
he's
his
usually
nose,
on the he's usually
his
on their
food bowl.
side.
All right, let's look at the. Oh, wait, we're gonna do. All right, we're gonna cut this guy, and then we'll look at the look at the clay for the big ridge and see where we left where we're.
Horatio's from Admiral Nelson. That makes sense.
Horatio.
Mastering Crunchmander.
It's. I did not know that I needed to know Horatio Magellan Crunch.
Cereal mascot alignment chart. I feel like really what it comes down to is what is their relationship to the cereal and what is their relationship to the kids? Do they own the cereal? Are they trying to get the cereal? Are they creating the cereal? And then are the kids stealing it from them?
Like the
Are they
Keebler
stealing it from
elves
the
who are
kids?
creating the cookies,
Yeah.
the Keebles.
The punk band Green Jelly sings about the serial characters being murderers, serial killers, the tune and bid. That makes sense.
Green Jello turned green jelly because they got sued.
Yeah, Tony the Tiger just wants to dunk on kids. Yeah, he's totally cool with giving them the cereal, but then he wants to fly over them. He wants to like knee them in the face as he dunks over them. Like
because he's so hopped up on sugar.
Yeah.
Huh.
Like from a cereal standpoint, he's very chill with the kids, but he also is a grown tiger. I guess not a grown man, but he is
man tiger,
fully an adult, I assume. And he's consistently only playing against children.
He wins every time.
They never have him like, I guess, I don't know. Did they ever have him take on like Michael Jordan or something? They probably have had him take on like professional athletes at some point. When I was a kid, the Cookie Crisp mascot wasn't a wizard. He was a burglar.
Yeah.
It's a good community reference.
And Quisp cereal?
What about making this one 2 separate pieces, one for each side?
Maybe. Let's trace it out and see. It would be more useful that way because it's going to be a really weird.
It's going to be very. It'd be like a weird kind of cracked, like a very deep. It'd be like a deep V.
It would be try to make it a chasm.
Yeah, phenomenal for that specifically. If you so I guess that over like a bottomless pit tray would be really interesting. If you just have like a massive crack to fall down.
Or it could be water, right? You could go down to
true
icy
icy
depths.
Cinnamon Toast is an artifact from the Cthulhu mythos. I don't know if I buy that. Who was the honeycomb mascot? What was his deal? Because I don't think he could speak. I think he was just like a Tasmanian devil. He's the crazy craving.
It was Andre the Giant was in a honeycomb.
Yeah, there he is.
Right? Honeycomb's big. Yeah.
All he did was say, "Me want honeycomb." I think he may be. I think he may be like a chaotic neutral, because he doesn't hate the kids or anything. I think he doesn't even really see the kids. He's just.
What about the Sugar Smack frog?
Oh, dude, that's another. He's like Chester Cheetah levels of just definitely chill, definitely blazed out.
Yes.
But I think he was less pushy.
But then they changed him, right? They rebranded him from Sugar Smacks to
Honey Smacks. The Dig'em Frog.
Dig'em Frog. I dig 'em.
They really changed his look too.
How dare they?
I don't like this new look for him.
They should have gone like Poochie.
Yeah, I don't like this new look. They didn't Poochie him, but because I don't think you can Poochie if you change the.
No.
It's introducing a new mascot. It'd be like if they dumped the apple and cinnamon stick from Apple Jacks, and they're just like, here's Butterfly Knife Steve, and like that's the new mascot. Yeah, he comes up and he's just flipping a butterfly knife around, going like,
kids want some cereal.
Yeah, like that's
I love that.
That's Poochie in it. Where he comes up, he's flipping the butterfly knife around, he's going like that.
While riding a skateboard. Like,
That's pretty Ohio. Cheerios is the B, yeah, and
honey bee.
he's generally
Buzz.
yeah, Buzz. He's pretty chill.
Yeah, he just wants golden
He's
honey
wanting
and
he's wanting to share it with people. He's very benevolent.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if he eats the cereal. I think he just puts honey on it.
He just wants it to be a sweet touch for everybody.
Yeah,
Just like a definitely Faye.
Blueberry. So those cereals are just
Frankenberry,
like,
Blueberry.
you get into Frankenberry and then Count
Choco,
Chocula
Count
and
Chocula.
Blueberry. That it's like, I mean, they are the cereal. You know?
So you're eating them.
I think it's a Christ-like thing where I think you're eating of
The
their
body
body.
of
Yeah.
Blueberry. The body
You're
of
eating the
Count
body.
Chocula.
Yeah, you're eating the body of
That's how you
Count
become a
Chocula, I
vampire.
believe. Because they're straight up just named the cereal.
So good. I mean, his name's Count Chocula and it's Count Chocula cereal. Well, Captain Crunch, you're not eating him, right? They're barrels, aren't they supposed to be like a cargo?
Yeah, that's a good point. Snap, Crackle, and Pop. Oh yeah, they're also. I mean, they're the Keebler elves of cereal.
Yeah,
apparently.
they definitely make it, right?
Yeah, they're cracking away at it. Snap, Crackle, and Pop did have like they had a weird amount of actual narrative stuff made around them, which is interesting. They were super. Do they still merchandise them as much as they used to? I think they were some of the most heavily merchandised. Did I say heavenly? Heavily. Some of the most heavily merchandised.
There was some heavenly merchandise.
Heavenly merchandised.
Huh? Why does this look so?
Cocoa Pebbles. Oh right, that was just straight up the Flintstones. Yeah, hang on a second. Do we consider the Flintstones cartoon series to be a narrative of the cereal came after the show, right? Like the cereal was just a tie-in to the show. So it's not.
The Flintstones was like the 60s, the 50s. When did that come out?
It's interesting that the Jetsons didn't get a cereal.
Well, in the future, everyone just eats Nutriloaf or whatever.
Flintstones started in 1960. That Flintstones Jetsons crossover where it turns out that they're actually alive at the same time. It's just that the Jetsons live up in the sky above the Flintstones.
Stop.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
They did the Flintstones Jetsons crossover where they're like, it's like, yeah, the Stone Age happening down here. It's happening at the same time as the Space Age for the Jetsons.
In the space.
Yeah.
In the heavens.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this one is not quite. Let's see.
My kids have no clue about all the cereals they sneer at most of the aisle. I think cereal isn't as big a thing for kids now as it was in the 90s for sure. The 90s was big cereal time. We were so aggressively marketed cereal, and I ate cereal like every day.
Same in the 80s.
We had so much cereal. Same in the 80s as well.
I think Crunch came out.
I think we didn't really talk about how bad that stuff actually was for kids.
It was
until later.
Right.
I look at the sugar content now and I'm like, oh, that is rough
Look
actually.
At this thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they would shove everything they could in the cereal box. So you'd want to buy it. Like Cereal Wars. This is a beast. Look at that thing. Here's what's wonky is
that is an interesting.
Maybe there's a way to cut it and do something, but it's a very weird. It's definitely a weird shape. And maybe there's a world. Let's see, where. If we cut this like this, we're short shrifting this, but theoretically this becomes
cut it into two swells,
like a swell. This one is jank. Like this one now doesn't. Well, maybe it does a little.
That's kind of interesting.
It does a little undercut because this is the same. Because I cut this bank angle out under there, so then theoretically it becomes like a. I don't know what it does. Like well, according to these very precise prototypes, it still keeps us on grid.
This is such a,
like a
more complicated trifecta system than Wildlands.
Well, it's like it's like reverse. Yeah.
Yeah, there's just so many different things that you have to.
Well, these shapes.
The shapes are very.
We're trying to be very organic.
Yeah.
Which leads to some very organic shapes here.
It is 8:59.
All right.
So we gotta.
So
Yeah.
we'll have to wait on the ridge. But what's been interesting so far? So we'll wrap it up in like 2 minutes or less. Is so we have, look at this. We have 3 very, very similar convexes,
Those are
which
extremely
is
similar.
interesting because you can make some.
They're kind of a frozen pedestal.
Yeah, or some ice flowy thing. We have some very useful. The concave looks good. Interestingly enough, too, it's 4x4, right?
Mhm.
So it works really well with the bank. Most of the larger banks are 4x4, right? The concave of banks is 4x4. We have a 6x straight and a 2x straight, which is also mirrors the bank. So there's some interesting bank synergy there. So it's an interesting set, and then we have these 2 maniacs.
I think the three similar curves. I think if we do dress it up with
Well, and
like,
that's also not including the ridge,
man,
which is 2 more.
I think we would have to do something like a pull accessory hole in one or something, or some kind of like, we'd have to figure out how to just shake them up
How
a
to
little bit.
differentiate them too, like
Yeah.
which one goes with which, and like
Yeah.
it's a thing. But it would this would let you build inline with your floors. And will it let you? Hang on.
That is fascinating. Oh, you're gonna do a bigger thing now?
See him in action. I think, is this saddle 2? Yeah, saddle 2. We on camera? Yeah. Boom, a boom.
Next week, escarpment trifecta ledges. Let's figure this out first, and then.
Wow. All right, so you got those guys, and then we do a little thing here. I need another convex on straight. Do I have it straight? What, I almost lost it. Yeah, so it certainly lets you do the thing that we want to do.
I think 2 4x4 floors would fit in that forward gap.
Yep.
So it stays on grid.
This a 2x6 fits right here.
Yeah.
Which is nice. This guy, almost cut my fingers off. I don't have a thing for that. But this is saddle 1. This goes over here. Yeah, so there, and then this would be a 2x6 to fit there. So we have, yeah, it is. There's certainly a system in here. So we'll see where this leads. But it was definitely a fruitful exploration. You got to see a little behind the curtain.
Just what it looks like to.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, months of this, right?
Yeah.
It's like coming with the idea, testing it, mocking it, prototyping. Sometimes it dies, like it doesn't get, you're like, oh no, this isn't going to work, and you kill it. And then sometimes
It shot looks like some 1990s movie CGI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Thinking of that behind the scenes of doing like the big battle in Mulan with all the Huns coming down the cliffs.
I didn't see Mulan.
Really?
Enough. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
I should put it on the list. There's a swath of Disney movies that I missed when I hit, like, I don't know, 18 or 19. There's a stretch of like a big chunk of them. Hercules I didn't see. Like whatever was in that Lilo and Stitch. Like there was a swath where I sort of aged out for a while, until I aged back in. So we will be back. We'll see if Hobby Hang tomorrow.
Probably. He always makes that call the day of, so we'll see. Most
Hamster
likely.
likes to be a man of mystery.
Yeah.
Right?
Just depends on what's going on.
And then next week we'll be back.
The week after
with desert. We're gonna Erin will be here and she'll bring the
Oh.
desert stuff with her. So we'll show some desert stuff, desert paint. And then we'll be at PAX.
Yeah, week after that.
And then
week after
Thanksgiving. So Yeah. So one more show next week, and then we'll be off for a couple weeks. Then we'll be back in December. Well, ready to fire. So hopefully this was an interesting journey. Like this was this was spawned by feedback of the previous episode. Hopefully it was fun to go down the history of trifectas and see where we're headed here and see if there's some potential. We'll see where it goes. Would you like to see more episodes like this again? Is this a good one?
People seem pretty into it.
Good.
And we got a lot of time to talk about cereal and stuff. So
this is true. The important, hard-hitting topics.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Will it let me stop?